Here we go, here we go. Blip, 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 blip. Oh. Okay, okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to STG. Hey, the Felders got some puppies, and they are a handful. We thought it'd be a good idea to introduce you to Gimli. This is Gimli. This is Legolas in Gwen's arms, and boy, they are a ton of fun, but a ton of work. So, how about we tie up some jigs today that are based on these guys, brown and black, and then maybe a little white-brown mixture for Legolas. So, let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Woo!
How's that for an intro? Wow. You gotta hold on to those guys. They are wiggly and full of energy, and I don't know, they're about 10 weeks old, maybe 11. Man alive. Brothers from the same mom, and they have brought much to the world of the Felders these days. So, a lot less sleep, a lot more frustration at times, plenty of cleaning up paraphernalia that they might drop or leak behind. But the kids are loving them. Of course, we used to have a dog about a year ago. He passed away. So it was high time, and we decided to go all the way and get some puppies. So I knew when I got them that I wanted to tie some jigs up that reminded me, that were based on them, their coats and so forth. So what we're going to do today, we're actually going to go back to the Randy Howell Finesse Shaky head, because that mold will shoot, or will pour rather, up to a 3/8 ounce. So I've got a couple of 4/0, I believe, 4/0 VMC 7150. See, small jaw, he'd be proud of me. I actually knew the number, right? Anyway, VMC Barbarian 4/0 shot in there. They come with a wire key or a bait keeper. I clipped that off, which is actually going to be very useful for us. You'll see why in a little bit. And instead of going through all the materials now, it's going to be pretty simple. I mean, 2 quick jigs. Instead of going through all the materials now, we'll just do it as we go. So, yeah. So let's get into the tie. So as I mentioned, here's that 3/8 ounce Finesse Shaky head. We're using 210 Denier flat wax nylon, and I'm going to do all my tying up here, which is why you see where I clipped that bait keeper off. This is a really slippery collar. I could put some glue on it if I wanted to, but I think that little knob there where I clipped off the bait keeper is actually going to help us out and help keep the thread where it needs to be. So, kind of worked out. I hadn't planned on it that way, but it worked out. Alright. Let's do Gimli first. So, Gimli is, he was the brown and the black one. So, when I saw him, and I thought about materials, right? Little squirrel tail, brown, black. I think he's got a lot of German Shepherd in him, and this really looks like German Shepherd. So that's what we're going to do. I've already got some cut up. I may have too much here. I'm going to go ahead and put it all on because, well, one, because I'm Adam and this is SDG and that's what I do. I put too much material on stuff. But you lose a lot of this too as you tighten it down, and I want to make sure we have full coverage. So put this bad boy on here. Yeah, it's right about to the end of the hook. So, of course, it'll flare out a bit. So 3, and let's see if I can get it to move around the hook without constant pressure, right? Any reset didn't work out, so I'm going to split this in half. I really don't know why I continue to try to mess with squirrel tail and make it go all the way around the hook. Every time I try to do that, it backfires on me. So get a little bit more pressure there. This stuff is so slippery. Got some shorts. Just spread it out, keeping constant pressure, pulling down. Get it to the halfway point here. Yeah. That looks better. Sink that stuff in. And the second bit. Pressure. Put your thumb in it. And move it around. Yeah, see how much we're losing? I mean, I don't know, I find it helpful to have more of the squirrel than I need because I always lose so much of it. Now, we've got black in this because of the natural barring, but Gimli, well, both of them have some extra black, and let's face it, they are flashy, right? They are flashes of energy, if nothing else, so it seemed appropriate to put a little flashaboo. Black flashaboo in there as well. So we're going to go down one side, get that down, back up. Actually, sorry, I'm going to stay down there. There we go. See how far down I am on the collar? So I'm going to take my flashaboo over. Then I want to trap it right there, right? So then I can bend it back and have it where I want it. Just like that. Okay. Now, both of these little guys have matching collars, and they are both blue collars. So, this is getting a little out of the box, I understand, but what better use than the diamond braid, which you guys saw not too long ago. And because they've got so much brown in them already, I'm actually, surprisingly, not stressing over seeing the rest of that thread. So, make it super simple. And we're just going to make a little collar, quite literally a collar, thread collar, or a thread cover with that braid. There we go. Snip the rest of that off, and this guy is almost done. All right, so whip finishes 2, 3, 4. I'll save what we're going to do at the end, to the end, once we get both of these tied up. So that is one. I am going to put a little bit of loon on there, just because I have some exposed threads. So I'm going to hit these in the back and in the front. Just to harden them up a little bit. Make sure I don't lose anything. There we go. Gimli, the jig version, is done. There we are. Simple. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Probably catch some fish too. I mean, yeah, the blue is a little out there, but I think it's going to work. So, matching, same exact hook setup for Legolas. And we'll put a thread base on. I'm assuming you guys know Gimli and Legolas, right? Do I have to explain that? I don't know. If you're not J.R.R. Tolkien fans, Lord of the Rings, Gimli was the dwarf, and Legolas was the elf, right? And boy, it holds true with their two personalities, let me just tell you. Gimli is very much the alpha male, next to me, naturally. Legolas is the more delicate dog, but boy, he is one happy dog. His tail never stops wagging. So, on his we're actually going to use Arctic fox. So the underside of Legolas, as you saw, is white. So I've got some white Arctic fox tail. And, you know, it's a dog, right? Arctic fox, it's a dog, for crying out loud. So I think this is going to look good. That's good right there. We'll tie this guy in. A little off center, but if you knew Legolas, you'd know Legolas is a little off center as well, so perhaps it works. And now for the top. See, he had that nice brown top coat to him, so that's what we're going to do again with Arctic fox. Right on top. This is a little bit shorter, but I think we're going to be all right. Spread that out. Oh yeah. Beautiful. So get a good thread collar on this one, just like before. And he does have some black in him. He's got black around his eye. He's got some black highlights from here and there. So back to the black flashaboo. I didn't mention this is one strand that is cut in half again, so it's 4 strands on either side once it gets doubled over. And let me trim those down. Go back to our diamond braid. I cut it a little longer. The last one was a little short for me. Make sure we get a good bit of coverage here. Yeah. There we go. Trap that. And then in front. Beautiful. Cut off our excess. And get the thread collar in. Whip finish. 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. That was a little cleaner. Get our loon. There we go, guys. Legolas, shaky head. Very cool. All right, so what are we going to put on the back of these? Well, I'm reaching back. If you haven't seen the bonus video from the weekend, shame on you. You need to go watch it. Because I got a new mold from Fat Guys Fishing, and it shoots these guys. These little... It is a 3-inch Ned Kicker, just like my kicker tail worm. The 7-inch one that you guys saw a while back. It's got those flanges on the end. Looks absolutely dynamite on a Ned rig. This is going to be the perfect trailer for a bunch of finesse jigs. Been talking about that with a couple of guys. You can even rig it sideways on some swimming baits. I mean, it's going to be seriously versatile. And can you imagine what this thing is going to do with the smallmouth? I mean, they love a Ned rig to begin with, but bouncing this guy along the bottom, oh, yeah, it's going to be cool. So, it's a perfect fit, right? It's a perfect marriage right there. That's what it's going to look like. So, why don't I put these guys on? Both of them get one. Got one for each. So I will rig those soft plastics on our puppy-inspired shaky heads. Get you guys some close-up shots, and then over to the test tank. Well, filming complete, and it was too good of a day not to take at least one of these little guys out. So I grabbed Legolas, went to my favorite lake, was seeing if the bass had moved up a little bit. It's still pretty cold here. Obviously, I'm in a hoodie. Tossed it out by a little dock I don't fish by very often, and totally got snagged on a big old stick, stump, whatever. But it was moving, so I was hauling it up nice and slow, waiting for it to surface, and finally got to the surface. Not a log. Oh, not a log at all. A nice 4.78 pounder ate up Legolas in all of his glory. I was shocked. It felt like a mule on the other side, just dogging, right? Which, duh, right? It's still cold, so they're not gonna fight like they do in the summer. So it totally took me by surprise. Ran down to the dock, brought her over, got my hands on her, and yeah, got some decent pictures and a weight, and boy, what a great way to round out a custom little jig tie based on my two new puppies. So if you want to know why that bass just couldn't resist it, then check out this test tank. Well, what'd you guys think? Little unorthodox, I'll give you that, with the blue braided collar. Call it a hot spot. If you don't like that, you can take it off or add red, right? That'd be a nice little hot spot, or orange would work on either one of those. But from a performance perspective, I think I kind of actually backed into something I hadn't planned on, a little unintentional. What I saw, you guys tell me if you agree, I ended up with a profile jig / shaky head with Gimli, with the squirrel tail and brown one. And I ended up with more of a flowing secondary movement jig or shaky head with Legolas, with the white and the brown and that Arctic fox. Man, it just flows. So, little 1-2 punch. I think it worked out pretty well. Do you guys agree? Tell me below in the comments. Love to hear about it. Hope you enjoyed meeting the Felder's new family members. Two rambunctious little puppies that will hopefully bring joy to our family for a long, long time. And hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. So if you want to see more just like it, well, then click on this video right here. If you're curious why I call the channel what I call it, well, then click on this video right here. Otherwise, until the next time, I'll see you guys